What if the people you think run the world aren't the ones actually in control? We grow up believing that power is visible. Presidents, prime ministers, public leaders. But history tells a different story. Because behind every major system, governments, economies, even wars, there are always deeper layers of influence. People and groups that don't appear on screens, that don't campaign, that don't need public approval. They operate quietly, and they've often been there longer than any elected leader. Now think about wealth. Not just rich individuals, but generational wealth. Families that have held power, resources, and influence for hundreds of years. Not decades, centuries. And when you start following that trail, certain names begin to appear repeatedly, across different countries, different industries, different moments in history. This doesn't prove control, but it raises a question. What if power isn't something that changes every election, but something that stays in the same hands? One of the most talked about examples is the Rothschild family. Originating in Europe, they built a powerful banking network in the 18th and 19th centuries. At one point, they were considered one of the most influential financial families in the world, funding governments, supporting major projects, expanding across countries. Now, does that mean they control everything today? Not necessarily, but it shows something important. Power can be built quietly and maintained over time. And they're not the only example. There are other powerful families, corporations, and institutions that hold massive influence over global systems. Finance, media, technology, and influence doesn't always mean direct control. Sometimes it's about access, connections, the ability to shape decisions without being seen making them. Even today, a small percentage of the population controls a large portion of global wealth. That's not a theory, that's a fact. So when people talk about elites, they're not always talking about something imaginary. They're pointing at a real concentration of power. The real question is, how far does that power actually go? Now here's where this becomes uncomfortable. If a small number of individuals and groups hold most of the power, then how much influence do they have over the rest of us? Not necessarily in extreme, obvious ways, but in subtle ones, shaping markets, influencing narratives, guiding long-term decisions. Because power today doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to announce itself. It works best when it's invisible and when people don't question it. But it's important to stay grounded. Not every theory is true. Not every powerful family controls the world. But ignoring the existence of influence entirely is just as dangerous as believing everything blindly. So maybe the real answer is somewhere in between. There are powerful people. There are systems of influence. And there are connections most of us never see. The question is, how much of the world is shaped behind the scenes? And how much of it are we simply not aware of? If you enjoyed this and want more videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe, because sometimes the truth isn't hidden, it's just not obvious.